Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is not going to be a standalone review. I'm not really going to go too in-depth with anything on my table that you guys see, but I did want to revisit the 490s and the 800s from Sennheiser just because I wasn't testing Call of Duty Resurgence at the time of my putting these on the Wallhack certified tier list at the time of my review. I've compared the 490s to the 800s extensively just to kind of get a feel and a sense of where I was back then when I tested the 800s. And I think my overall conclusion was, why would I pick these up when the 560s are as good as they are? In my opinion, the 490s are better than the 560s, more comfortable as well, and just in general, better build, I feel, for anyone that wears glasses. But the 490s are a badass headphone, and for Call of Duty Resurgence right now, it's my number one pick. I think that for most games right now that I've tested, the HD 490s are my number one pick. And in comparing these, I did use the iFi Zendag V3 from a budget perspective. A lot of people have been asking for budget amp DACs that work with the 490s. I think the Zendag V3 does, and it sounds great. The Zendag V3, you get plenty of power with the 490s. I thought they felt very good in Resurgence, if anybody's been looking for something for COD. But moving to the EF600 from Hi-Fi Man, I just feel like the sound is a little bit less congested in COD Resurgence in particular. I'm getting just more of a detailed read of the things that are happening within the space. It just feels like I'm breathing easier moving to the EF600. And that same jump goes to my daily driver, the Topping DX9 from the EF600. The EF600, I did have a few issues with. First of all, I'm getting everything on these two headphones that I want out of the EF600. I'm getting plenty of power. The sound, the sonic capability out of it, it just feels clean. I'm getting a lot of detail retrieval, depth perception, verticality, separation, everything just shining on the EF600. Just one notch down from the Topping DX9, in my opinion. It sounds fantastic for these headphones. I tested a few IEMs. I had some channel imbalance issues. I had some issues with a little bit of a buzzing on some sensitive IEMs. I had issues with every once in a while I would get like a crackle, but it is a test unit. I don't know if it's just this unit, but overall the sonic capabilities on the headphones felt great. Again, comparing the Zendag V3 to this on the 490s, I don't necessarily think that I would jump to that increased price point unless you really have issues with separation when you're playing video games. I think you get more detail coming through simultaneously. But the iFi Zendag V3, I think for the price point, is phenomenal and sounded great with a lot of my IEMs. On the balance channel, though, I did get a little bit of buzzing on IEMs, sensitive IEMs. But of course, you can just use the 635. Which actually did resolve most of that for me, but I'm still testing the Zendag V3. Moving to the Topping DX9, it's just a behemoth of a unit. I bought it myself. I don't know anybody at Topping. I wish I would get sent something like that for free, but I bought it because I thought it looked beautiful. I loved the internals and just everything that I was reading. It just sounded very great. And to clean up space on my desk, to have an all-in-one instead of a stack, XLR cables running all over the place. It's just what I personally wanted, and I love it. I use it every day. It's what I use for my testing, and it sounds amazing with everything I throw at it. But getting to Resurgence, the 490s versus the 800s, it's the same kind of thing that I'm getting out of Apex. In Apex, the 800s are just too sterile, too boring, too analytical. And that's not to say that I'm getting more detail retrieval out of the 800s than the 490s. I'm just not. I'm just not. The 490s, I feel like the depth perception, the imaging is just as good. I feel like the space becomes a little bit more fun. The bass impact becomes more, just more impactful. And within the space, I'm just reacting to things and getting a better depth read on where things are because of those hits from behind walls and different areas and locales on the map. I'm just getting more of that immersive feel on the 490s in comparison to the 800s. The 800s are fantastic. They're not going anywhere on the Wallhack certified tier list because they deserve to be there with how much information you get. But they were made for mixing and mastering. They're very sterile. And I just feel like I'm getting everything out of the 800s for competitive purposes and more because of that sound profile. The nice thing about the 490s, again, you've got the cloth ear cups and you have the velour ear cups, and you get two different sonic profiles moving to one or the other. In Call of Duty, the cloth works and the velour work quite well. The velour giving a little bit additional bass impact, making it even more immersive, but still sounding fantastic for imaging, verticality, separation. I think it really is a headphone that shines and excels in COD and literally every game I've thrown at it so far. The 800s, you get that same transition from Apex. It's open, it's airy, it's got a lot of separation, and layering is fantastic, but you just feel so boring on the 800s and just lacking in that immersiveness, lacking in that impactful punch that you get on a few things. Opening doors, people kicking in doors, people sliding around you. It just becomes more reactionary to me on the 490s. And for that, I'm going to say for Call of Duty Resurgence. And it's the same feeling I got on all three of these amp decks, just better on the 490s for Call of Duty Resurgence. So I just wanted to throw that update out there. If anybody's been looking for a budget amp DAC with the 490s, I think the iFi Zendac V3 works perfectly fine for the 490s. And I think for Call of Duty Resurgence, my top headphone right now is going to be the Sennheiser HD 490s. And I think it takes the cake over the 800s while maintaining a whole lot more fun. So that's going to be it for this update, guys. I just wanted to throw that out there because a lot of people have been asking me about my picks for things for Call of Duty ever since I started playing a little bit more. And a lot of people ask me about the 800s, and I just think for the price, I'd much prefer the HD 490s, and I think even the 900 Pro X for what they offer. I just can't recommend spending the amount of money on the HD 800s. That's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope it helped. If it did, please leave a sub to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.